Due to technical difficulties, Testificate Tutorial 2, Location will not be seen today. Instead, we will be renaming it to Testificate Tutorial 2, What Dreams Are Made Of. Hello everybody and welcome to part 2 of my Testificate tutorial series. I will be referring to part 1 of the series throughout this episode, so if you haven't watched it yet, please do. Today we will be looking at what materials we can use to build houses. We'll be using a simple 3x3 pattern of small houses we found at work in part 1. This way we can have 2 villagers, and if they have children, we know the material works. This test you see here is a simple control with the houses made out of wood, just like the ones we had in the first set of tests. The methodology is the same as the last set of tests. I build the houses, place 2 new villagers, and wait. If they don't breed within 3 Minecraft days, the test is a failure. As for this test, the villagers took about 7 minutes to have a child. This success shows that the position and size of the houses work. We can safely use this setup for the rest of the tests. The next test is simple. The houses are made entirely out of wool, something different from wood but not different enough to expect a different result. These villagers took just short of 3 days to create a child. Not an unexpected result, but good to test just in case we were surprised. And now for something completely different. Glass. These houses are completely glass blocks except for the doors. This is something that I didn't expect would work, but I gave it the full test anyways. This test failed so bad you can see here that the villagers just don't see the building as houses even at night. This brought up a question. We can have glass windows. How much of the walls can be glass before it doesn't work? In this test, I replaced just the roof with wooden blocks. I was a little surprised at the outcome of this test, but after just 2 days, we have a child. This success led me to my next set of questions. What if it's just the roof? If that works, what if it's just 3 blocks above the doorway? And if that works, how many do you really need? So here we have 4 tests. In the upper left-hand corner, we have the same setup as before, but without the walls. In the upper right, we have just 3 blocks, 1 above the door and 2 behind. In the lower left, we have 2 blocks, 1 above and 1 behind. In the lower right, we just have 1 block above and directly behind the door. As we can see, the one with the 1 block is already done. The 2 block test follows closely behind, with the 3 block test not much longer. The full roof was the longest at a total of about 3 minutes. After that shocking result, what about no blocks at all? While they don't breed, what we do end up with is kind of interesting. They crowd behind the door like it's a house, but never interact with the door. This failure is not a surprising result, since the blocks that make up the walls, the air blocks, are transparent. With what we've learned so far, we can make a few guesses about what the next set of blocks will do. Melons, yes. Fences, no. Half slabs, yes. Pistons, no. Quick note, yes, only 3 of the houses are made out of pistons, but due to the 3:1 ratio of doors to villagers, this test is still valid. Now, what have we learned so far? Well, 1, it's only 1 block on the roof that really matters, the one directly above and 1 behind the door. 2, solid blocks are valid, transparent blocks are not. 3, villagers will still try to hide in a house at night even if it doesn't count towards breeding. 4, villagers can take anywhere from 1 minute to 3 Minecraft days to breed. I've never had a test that went beyond 3 days work without there being something else interfering. A few things I've learned during these tests that I didn't show you. 1, villagers will not move if they're too far away from a player. Keep this in mind when waiting for them to breed. If villagers aren't moving, they can't see each other. 2, there seems to be an upper limit on how many villagers can exist on one server. When the villager spawner I had shown in the first video was full, about 300 villagers, I was not able to get any other villagers to breed, even when the spawner was not in a loaded chunk. This may explain why my villager spawners stopped spawning villagers. 3, villagers can see you and will act like they're talking to you even if you're a block or 2 underground. Keep this in mind as it can interrupt breeding cycles. A little explanation on why I did this video first. The second video was originally going to be about the location of the houses, how far apart can they be, what kind of pattern they need to be in, if they can be underground. The algorithm to determine the location of the houses is a little complex and I was unable to determine exactly what is required. If I can figure out the algorithm, I will create a separate video explaining it. If not, I'll include what I can in the next video about the sizes and shapes of the houses.